Greetings, this is Brandon with Primarily Pens. Today I have a few pens from David Oscarson's Valhalla collection. This is the ninth release series, and like most of his collections, there's a lot of symbolism and information contained in the pens. I show three here. Two, the gray and the light blue, are from the original release series of 88 pens each, and the purple one is from a more recent color variation release of 8 pens. Now, the original release also had a third color, red with gold vermeil trim, which sadly I do not have a sample to show. The original series had 3 pens because they represented the 3 primary Viking gods, Odin, Thor, and Frey. And each of those 3 pens had a little bit differences between them. And I'll talk through that as we go. Picking up the light blue one. Normally I'd start from the top and work my way down. In this case I'll do the opposite because the difference that we have between the pens are actually down the bottom of the pen. Now at the very bottom we have a simple shield pattern engraved into the solid sterling silver. At the bottom there we have an opaque black with some symbols in there. This is the runic language symbol. The Vikings created the runic language a very long time ago. This one spells out Odin. Odin is known as the god of the slain, also as the Allfather. He fashioned the heaven and earth, and also is credited with creating man and giving him an immortal spirit. The gray, we have Thor's name written in runic. Thor is the god of thunder, probably is the best known of the Norse gods, primarily because of the more recent Marvel movies that have been released. He's basically the guardian of the world, both gods and of men. The third one, which I don't have, is of course has Frey's name in it. Frey is the god of fertility. He is the noblest of the gods. He also was the paramount god of the Swedes and revered as the divine ancestor of the Swedish kings. So pretty important. Moving on up the pen into the main barrel, you can see a very nice galoche pattern in there, which is kind of course obviously represents the waves. And in the middle of this, we have a very dramatic Viking longship in high relief. Now you can see, of course, has the white enamel to form the hull, but you also notice that the oars are upright position. That's because this is a funeral longship. So the belief was that when a warrior died, they would be sent off into on a longship so they could travel to Valhalla. Valhalla, which is the namesake of this pen collection, is translated into the Hall of the Slain. And it is, in essence, the heaven for Vikings. The Vikings believed that the warriors who died bravely in battle would be transported to Valhalla, and Viking longships were the primary mode of transportation there. And then once there, the fallen champions would spend all day gaming and fighting amongst each other, and at the very end of the day, they would have a magnificent feast, get healed up, and do the same thing the next day. Right, so again, Viking heaven. So that's what you have here. But again, very, very nice, dramatic in the middle of this very, very wonderful pattern. In this case, the translucent blue, which I think shows the galoche very, very well. Now moving on up, I'll go ahead and open this up. This is a rollerball, as is the gray one I have here. The purple one is a fountain pen, so I'll open that up just to show the difference between the two. The grip sections are very, very similar. The pattern, the engraved pattern on the grip is the same, but you'll notice that the pattern is a little bit lower on the rollerball than on the fountain pen. I believe this is actually a function of the fact that this purple one is a more recent release and not because one's a fountain pen versus the rollerball. I could be mistaken, but that's what I believe. Looking at the nib, again, we have a very nice two-tone 18 karat gold nib with the David Oscarson logo in the middle. The grip, of course, has that same pattern as the galoche in the main barrel. Again, and offers plenty of grip for holding that. Now I'll close this both up again, and I'll point out one other difference between the older version and the more recent release. If you look closely, I think you can see it in the video, but if you look at the band, there's a slight difference in color. If you might be able to tell there. Now the earlier versions, or the early releases that Dave Oscarson released were plated in rhodium, whereas more recently he stopped doing that and let the more natural silver color shine through. Now personally, I think that gives a little bit of softer look to it, which I personally prefer, but again, it's just personal preference. Now you can kind of see probably with that is that these pens, the purple one is number 8 of 8, the light blue is number 2 of 88, and that's the same thing goes for the number for the silver, or the light gray pen we have there. It was also number 2 of 88. Going around the rest of the band, we have the hallmarks for the sterling silver, and then you see more runic symbols, and that of course spells out David Oscarson's name. Moving on up to the main cap. The cap, you have another very dramatic image there. This is, if you look a little bit distant, you realize this is a rune stone. So rune stones appear throughout Europe, primarily in Scandinavia and Sweden in particular. These were created by the Vikings, and basically are carved into giant granite slabs. And this one has a serpent with some more runic symbols in there. And this reads, "He who would read the sacred runes is wise to waste no words." Now this is supposedly from a poem from Odin himself. Odin was also known as the patron god of poetry, and so that's where this is coming from. And you notice too up close is there's a very nice pattern inside the runestone. Now there's more of this opaque black enamel to frame the runestone, and also frames the clip, which is the magnificent Thor's hammer. You can see there. Again, quite impressive. The very top of the pen, we have another more detailed shield pattern. Now the overall shape of the pen is very cylindrical. So you have a straight cap, straight barrel with flat ends on both sides. Again, it's a very weighty pen. It comes in at 91 grams. That's all three of them. So whether it's a fountain pen or a rollerball, they all came in at 91 grams. They do not post. Again, just spectacular look. I really like of course the Viking Longship is just a wonderful pattern, and then the runestone also with the serpent just looks marvelous. For completeness, I'll go ahead and talk briefly about the packaging material. I've shown this before, but again, I'll just go through it real quickly. We have a nice wooden box with David Oscarson's name. Comes with a clasp and a nice interior. It came with a polishing cloth for the silver, and then a pamphlet that goes through all the details of all the different pen releases that David has offered up over the years. Again, a lot of detail there. So there you have it, the David Oscarson Valhalla collection. Again, very large, solid sterling silver pens, gorgeous hard enamel for all of them. You can kind of see the detail up close for these three different colors. Again, the gray and the light blue are from the original release, and then this middle one, this purple, is from a more recent color variation release. Again, very, very amazing pens. There you have it. Please leave comments below, take a look at my other reviews, and subscribe to Primarily Pens. I'll have additional reviews soon.